We're live. We are live. Hey, welcome in everybody to another sports night. And we haven't actually done this in about 3 weeks.
That is true.
It has been a while. Well, the two of us haven't done it. We were here. We were definitely here last week. I had Dan and Pete valiantly step in
Nice.
in Steve's stead, and we had a great time for sure. But we are back. Steve and I are back, and we might have a special guest too in a little bit. But we are back for, I'm going to say non-sports night, because we're going to talk very little sports, and we're going to talk a lot of Disney again. But we are going to talk a little bit of sports tonight. But welcome in, everybody. Thank you. First and foremost, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. But before we even do that, let me say hi to my partner channel right over here. It's good to see you, pal. I haven't seen you in a while.
Man, I missed you. I got to see you in person, but
yes.
But absolutely. Man, we haven't done this in a while. I and only like once in the last 6 weeks. So. I think 5 or 6 weeks, I think, because we both had different things going on. So I'm excited, man. Glad to be back here. This feels right. So
absolutely, I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad that we're both here again too. You're right. I mean, circumstances. You know, either you were away, or we had something going on, or we had a dinner plan, or you had a dinner plan, or this that. It happens. It definitely happens. I mean, we had a long run where we didn't miss any. So. But it's good to have you back, and we're going to have fun tonight. We definitely
Absolutely.
are.
We're back on track, and sports are finally starting to kick off and all that stuff. So.
Hooray! Hooray!
I'm
happy. I know. Well, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, as always, Dean over at The Live Place. Check him out at theliveplace.com. He's family-friendly streams throughout the week, Monday through Sunday. If you're looking for a stream, Disney or not, they have other stuff too. It's not all Disney. Check him out. You can definitely find a streamer over there, of course, so be sure to do that. Of course, my two partner channels, this guy right over here, Steve's World. Steve goes live on Mondays with Just Another Monday Night. And, of course, he has Wednesdays with the Disney Crew. And Dan goes live every other night of the week, I think. Yes. Dan's live on Thursdays with Nuts About Disney with Gonzo. He has his Disney Fruits Fridays. Saturdays, he's probably just ending now with Disney Fiasco. And, of course, Sundays with me, we do the Disney movie review.
Is that every Sunday?
It is every Sunday. And guess what? There he is!
Daniel.
Hi. I was going to give you my new nickname I gave you yesterday, Steve, but yeah, but let's just say Steve was my Uber driver yesterday.
That's right.
Hi everyone.
Good to see you, buddy. Oh my gosh, look, I'm pulling out my ears already.
It's all chaos here.
It's always chaos. Good to have you, Dan. Look, I got like two partner channels are here tonight. This might be a.
You need a group hug? I mean, we could do a group hug.
Yes, let's do a group hug. Everybody hug.
Guys,
I'm a bit sweaty, but hey, you know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later because we went to the park today and holy macaroni, was it hot. It's when you guys are supposed to see how hot was it.
How hot was it?
How hot was it?
So hot. It was hot.
Well,
never mind.
That was anticlimactic.
Yeah, very much so. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. We have Wendy Lou, who is here, one of our members. James Ryan, another member, is here. Always good to see both of you. Brian's in the house. What's up, Brian Eisenhart, another member. Alex Brunner, making movies with Alex Brunner, is here. Alex, good to see you. Caitlin, Make It Blue, a Disney Adventure, one of our members, is here as well. Noah's in the house. What's up, Noah? Noah's Adventure. Super Disney fan and T. Marie Photography are both here. Two of our members as well. Good to see you guys. Dougie, what's up, Dougie? Dougie's in the house. It's too much handsome, he says. He says, Walt and Steve, too much handsome. I agree. Yes, very much so. I know I look good.
Dan wasn't here when he said it. Dan. Don't.
I'm sure he means you. I'm sure he means you too, Dan. Another member, and Dougie. Dougie, good to see you, pal. Carlos, Disney World Freak. What's up, Carlos? Carlos went live earlier today too, buddy. Hope you're feeling well. Another member. Carlos, always good to see you, pal. Dreamer Deborah's in the house. What's up, Deborah? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Karen Cook is here. Karen, always good to see you, dear. We had dinner with Karen. She was fantastic. I think I got everybody. Pete McDevitt. Oh, Lord. Get ready, Dan. Thank God
it's already had 1 hour of him in the chat. Now I've got another one.
Glutton for punishment. What's up, Pete? Good to see you. Jonathan Chong is here as well. What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you. Disney Dan is in the house. Good to see you, Disney Dan. Dole Whip Dad. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. Rockin' Robin, Captain Akron 27, and I think we are John Hazelton. What's up, John? Good to see you. Ron and Meredith at the Philly crew are here. Good to see you guys. Another one of our members, Barefoot RV Life, is in the house. Good to see you. This is my very new channel. Yep, I remember you, Barefoot Adventures as well. Good to see you. My gosh, Steve, we got a lot of people in here already.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're caught up. I think that's everybody.
Did you get Dodger?
I did, Jeff. Yep, for sure. Jeff, good to see you.
Because he is a Dodger fan as well. So,
amen. Gotcha. All right, so
sorry, I had to say it. I don't even know who the Dodgers are, but
Dodgers are a very, very, very highly historical team in Major League Baseball. They go back to the 1940s.
They were the first team to have an African American player play for them.
They did. Yeah.
Wow.
Jackie Robinson, he broke the color barrier for sure.
I was going to go with basketball, but I was nearly there. I had the first two.
Baseball, sorry.
I had the first two letters, but
yep. Well, back then they were the Brooklyn Dodgers. They weren't in LA yet. They were the Brooklyn Dodgers. They were in New York. Back then, New York had like three teams. They had the Yankees, they had the Dodgers, and the Giants.
Yeah.
Back then, they had three teams in New York City. Isn't that crazy? And then two of them moved away, and then they made a new team.
I am a Yanks fan second, James. But Dodgers first.
I'm a Red Sox fan.
Oh, boo!
Boo! Well, boo on all of them.
Sorry. Well, I only say that because I won one game, and that's it.
Hey, look, I'm 11 games into the season. My team's at 500, so I'm very happy. Or 12 games, and we're 6-6. I'll take it.
I have no idea. All I know is I've got George DiMaggio on my team.
It's Joe. Oh my gosh.
That was good.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate, aren't I?
1883, actually. The Dodgers don't go back to 1883. Do they? The Brooklyn Dodgers go back that far?
It's a long way. A long way.
Okay.
It's 18 something.
I didn't think the Dodgers were back that far. Okay. All right. Maybe did they go by a different name before that?
I don't think so.
All right, I'll have to look that up too. Jeff, you're probably right, buddy. I just don't remember it. I think we got everybody in the chat. Good to see everybody. We are going to talk a little sports, Dan. So you may have to
that's
bear
totally
with us
fine.
for
There
about
is a
15
lot of
minutes.
Hey, look, there's a lot of sport out of America that's going on as well. So
actually, he is wrong. It was even farther back. It was 1876.
I thought 1876 is when the game was invented.
It says active primarily the Dodgers were active primarily in National League, founded in 1876.
Okay, there you go.
No, I'm sorry. They didn't write that correctly. It's 1884.
Okay.
Can I just say to Jeff, I know we're going to talk sport. I won't mention soccer. There are other amazing sports that are going on with a lot of historical.
Well, where do you think baseball came from? Baseball came from cricket and rounders.
Rounders, exactly. I was just saying, there's a lot of historical stuff going on this weekend. So, there's the 70th anniversary of the Formula One Grand Prix this weekend.
We don't have that there. We don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you just watch cars that go round in a circle. Ours actually go corners and stuff. And there is the US Open going on with my boy Tommy Fleetwood, and I played with Matthew Wallace, who is a PGA Tour pro. So
no kidding.
It's the PGA, isn't it the PGA Championship or is it the US Open?
It is. Sherry. So from what I've gathered, it is the US Championship Open.
Wait a minute. When's the British Open?
British Open is not. It's not here. It says the US PGA Championship.
Okay, yeah, it's PGA Championship this week.
Yeah.
The US Open is a different one.
Addiction Mouse, welcome in. Good to see you. And Sherry, Awesome Sunsets Travel, welcome in. Sorry about that.
It's the first Chinese golfer to be in the first position spot.
He winning?
He hasn't won yet. He's still got tomorrow to play.
Oh.
But
he's still got 18 holes to go. Anything can happen.
He's 8 under.
But he played even today, and there's a lot of people that caught up to him.
So my boy,
how many strokes ahead is he?
One.
He's only one now. So you got Koepka, who's only one behind. You got Johnson, Fleetwood's coming up, Justin Rose, Jason Day. They're all.
Koepka. Koepka's a
Koepka. I think Koepka has a good chance of pulling this off.
Well, here, since we're talking golf, I'll ask both of you. I think you know what my answer is going to be. I think I know what Steve's answer is going to be. Who's the greatest golfer of all time?
Jack Nicklaus. Nicholson.
Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus. See, look, I grew up with Tiger, and
Tiger should have been the best golfer of all time, but he fell off hard.
He fell off hard, but there are reasons for that. But if you look at his peak, like the peak when he was playing golf, like not only was his short game phenomenal, but everyone says like he could pick up any club, even if it wasn't his own, and he would hit a perfect shot at his peak. And no other player would be able to do that. Jack Nicklaus was, maybe that rare exception. But, you look at Phil Mickelson, you look at Rory McIlroy, you look at, Jason Day. There are some great, players out there. But, for me, Tiger, it's the reason why Tiger is the greatest golfer of all time, considered the greatest golfer of all time, because at his peak, he was just... Okay.
At his peak, he was untouchable for sure.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'll give my 2 cents. Steve and I are on the same page. It's Nicklaus, in my opinion.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I think Nicklaus was the best pressure golfer, under pressure golfer, period. And he's 19 majors. And look, we can make all the excuses in the world about Tiger, but the bottom line is he didn't do it.
No.
And Nicklaus did it for a much longer, prolonged period of time. Health or not, health plays into the game for everybody. Well, there's everybody, and Nicklaus got it done.
The one thing I will say, even though I'm on the same page as Walt, to that credit is the fact that golf is a totally different sport now than it was back then.
Oh, completely.
The balls go farther, they go longer, there's better competition, there's a deeper field.
Better equipment, better balls, better courses. I mean, there's a lot to it.
Better coordination, better everything.
Yeah. And there's a lot to it.
There's a lot. I think it's harder to win today than it was back then. He separated himself from everybody else back then. Tiger tried to do that and then got a golf club thrown at his head, and that was the end of that.
I would totally agree with Jack. I think with Jack that he was by far the most consistent, low-scoring player I think of all time. Like he would, like you said, he has such a long run, and he was so consistent of how well he did. Whereas you have Tiger on his day, you can touch him.
Okay, but let me say this. Carlos says the challenge was not there for Jack like it is for Tiger, better golfers now. I totally not true. You had Arnold Palmer, you had Gary Player, you had Nick Faldo. The list goes on and on. Who did he have? Who did Tiger have?
I agree with Carlos. The golfers there's a deeper field that's way more competition right now than it was.
Not even close.
So
none of those guys are even in the Hall of Fame for crying out.
I would say right
lefty.
now,
I'll give you a lefty.
Right now in 2020, there is a lot of competitiveness. You look at Justin Rose, you look at Fowler, you look at Sergio, you look at McIlroy. The competition is very good now. When Tiger was playing, who was Tiger's biggest sort of competitor? I would say Phil Mickelson.
Right.
That was it. But that was it. There was no real, big
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Daly possibly.
John Daly? No way.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Like he was.
John Daly was a fan favorite because he didn't take care of himself.
John Daly's biggest opponent was himself.
True.
Was this?
Yes.
But two different eras, two completely different games. You look at it now. Clubs have changed, balls have changed.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, look, I say this with all sports. Look, if they had the clubs today, back then, and they had the balls back then, and the shit and the stuff, pardon my language, that they use today, it frustrates me because it's like these guys played with less back then. They played with worse equipment. They played in worse times.
But they were also
if all things being equal, holy mackerel, he would have won more than 19.
They were in worse shape. They had less. I mean, I'm a huge believer that kids today and anybody growing up right now is their hand-eye coordination is way better than anything in the past because of all the technology we have.
Well, right. They have advantages that those guys didn't have.
You're right, but you got to take that out of the equation because you can't just say this guy was better just because he didn't have the advantages. They have better hand-eye coordination. They have better athletic ability. They are in
because they have the equipment and they have the training and the nutrition that they didn't have back then.
Well, I mean, they could have worked out. It just
look, if you put a golf club, let's say you put the new, for example, Callaway Maverick driver in the hands of Tiger and with Jack Nicklaus, and put it out on St. Andrews with Pro V1 golf balls, then you'll obviously get an idea of who was better. But it's never going to happen.
At each other's leagues too.
Yeah.
I just think I don't.
What I'm saying is put Tiger back in 1975. Give him the clubs that Jack used. Give him the balls that Jack used, and let's see how he does.
Well, he could pick up those clubs and balls right now because they still have them around.
But that's the same with like any sport.
I'm sorry. I think today they're spoon fed from the very beginning. They've got it all handed to them.
You could take like another sport. You could take motor racing.
I did have a zip slip. I'm sorry.
Did you see James's comment?
Zip slip.
Notice fans are instructed that Paul has a great love of nautical lore and often uses the word ship to describe golfing.
James, you're totally right there.
That's my only slip ever. I'm sorry.
But like you can put sort of any icon. Like look, you put someone like Ayrton Senna or Michael Schumacher in Lewis Hamilton's race car from now. You can't compare them. You just can't compare. You put Cristiano Ronaldo with Maradona on the same football pitch.
Pele.
Sorry, soccer pitch.
I go with football. I'm okay with it.
It's you just don't know. But for me, as somebody who grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, when Tiger was, Tiger, that's just who I think was better. But obviously, maybe it's just
Tiger's great. He is great. He is.
At both of their peaks, Tiger was a better golfer.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, I don't think so. I think he was stronger. I think he's a stronger golfer here. I don't think he's better.
I thought it mentally.
Golf is really. You think
so?
So?
A better golfer. Yes, 100%.
Oh, I don't think so. Jack was mentally, I think, superior to anybody. That guy was.
I do want to say that Arnold Palmer has great lemonade.
Yeah, he's got fantastic lemonade.
He's got some really good lemonade, iced tea. That is good stuff. We can't get in the UK. It's so nice when I go over there. Oh my gosh!
Tell you what, though, he's another great golfer. Boy, was he good in his day. Man, he was something else. But I tell you what, my favorite golfer of all time. You guys are going to laugh at me. It's Jack's first, but right after him, it's either Nick Faldo or Freddie Couples. I just like Freddie Couples. I don't know why.
Is it the name or
part of it? He just was so cool. He was never really great, but he'd win here and there. And Nick Faldo was really good back in the day. Great golfer.
I golfed with somebody last week. He was 78 years old, and I'm way bigger, way stronger, and he beat me. It's not always about physical stuff.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Which is why my point to Tiger is he can be big and strong. You got to have the game to beat these other.
Oh, he has the game. He has the game. I'm not. When I say that, it's not that I'm shortchanging the guy. I mean, I think he's the second greatest. I think Jack's the greatest. That's all. Mm-hmm. That's my.
Tiger's the second greatest. When you look at the entire embodiment of their careers so far, the guy hit a brick wall.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's like one
like that
in like that whatever. So now he still is pretty good, and if he would have continued to play, the whole relationship he had break out and everything, then he started falling off the map. If Tiger would have been able to play without any of the distractions or anything, and didn't get into all that stuff, he would have doubled, and nobody would even be close.
Right. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. That didn't happen.
I agree. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Embodiment. It's Jack. At their peak, it's Tiger for me.
Jeff makes a really good point. He goes, I think it was actually a tree he hit. I think that's literal too. I think it was. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. All right, well we got to get off. We weren't even supposed to talk about golf, and here we are, right? 20 minutes into it, we're talking golf.
This is the only sport I can talk about.
No, not at all. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Well, very, very quickly, Steve. We got to talk baseball for a second. The baseball season has started.
Yes.
The games are off and running. Dan, it's actually really, really funny. They're putting cardboard cutouts of people in the stands in certain areas because there's nobody in the stands. They won't allow people in the stands.
They put cardboard cutouts.
So you can pay to have your cardboard cutout sit behind there. And
Did you guys
watch the game the other night? They're actually piping in sound too.
Yes.
Not to the stadium, but they're piping in sound to the TV of people cheering.
No, I think that's at the stadium.
Oh, it is at the stadium? So it's at the
I heard
stadium.
it's at the stadium.
Can you
I have a friend of mine that MCs some of the Orioles games, so he goes, and they're piping the sound in for the players. It helps them actually to hear that.
Yep.
They're so used to it. And yes, Carlos hit it. That's where I was going. Did you guys see Bernie in the Kansas City Orioles game?
No, I didn't.
I know Dan didn't see it. They had a car. You ever seen the movie Weekend at Bernie's, Dan?
I have not.
Okay, hilarious movie. You got to watch it. Well, one of the characters is Bernie, and he was a cardboard cutout that behind home plate, Steve. It was the most hilarious thing.
So fans pay, I'm assuming the club, the team, to put cardboard cutouts.
It's your choice. You don't have to.
So do you get to choose what gesture you want in the crowd? Like, can you do like? Or
it's a good question. Don't know.
You don't get hands. You get the body in with the shoulders, and then it goes straight down.
So can you like tilt your head, or can you make a stupid face? Or
I think you can.
You send them a picture and they put it in there. But
yeah,
great.
I want to say it was $75, but I can't remember if that's right or not. But and I don't know if that goes to the team or you split it with Major League Baseball or how that works. But there's cardboard cutout.
You upgrade to plastic, or do you have to stick with cardboard?
I think you got to stick to cardboard.
They actually are.
Welcome in Horizons.
They're in color, and it looks kind of cool.
Dude, it looks phenomenal.
On TV, they're back there. It looks like people because it's always blurry in the background, and we're just sitting there, it looks like a baseball game.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want that job setting up all them cardboards.
Well, you know what? It's not. Well, they're not doing it throughout the entire stadium, so it's not 50,000 cardboards. It's only like maybe 50 behind home plate.
Okay. It's not the whole stadium.
Yeah, no. It's not the whole stadium. But basically what I wanted to talk about, Steve, is for me, I've been watching – I bought the MLB TV app because I wanted to watch the Orioles because now that I'm down here, I can't see them. But I want to watch them. So I've been watching every game. And I hate to say it, but it's right now for me, and it's just me, and you know me, it does feel different. I don't know. It's not the same. I mean, it's baseball, but it feels like spring training to me. It just doesn't feel like to me, I can't speak for you, but
I understand that. I think with the addition of the only thing that seems different for me is when something's hit and it gets hit to the stands and then you see that there's nobody there. Mm-hmm. I mean, even the car, like when I watch baseball, just saying this, but when I watch baseball, I don't look at a single person in the stands. Now, when they're playing and the cardboard cutouts are back there, it still appears to be the same. They're still piping in the music or the sound effects. All that seems the same to me until they hit something where it's a long ball and they zoom out and then you can see there's nobody in the stands. That's the only part that really feels different for me. I think the players are not quite up to speed yet because they didn't get the warm-up time that they normally would have. I think that they've got some improving to do to get back into regular game formation, and that may be what you're talking. I mean, that may fix what you're talking about, but I don't think they're at their best right now by any means.
It's not even the ball playing for me. And Jeff kind of agrees. He said, good call, Walt. Feels spring training to me. It's the noise. Look, the fans bring a certain element to the game. I used to have season tickets with the Orioles, so I went to a lot of games all the time. And fans can change an outcome of a game. The atmosphere and when you're at a game, the atmosphere, and if you've ever been to playoff games, and I know my team doesn't make the playoffs that often, but I've been to many. And the ones I've been to, there's nothing like a playoff game in baseball. The feel at a stadium is unbelievable, and it's just not there.
But you're talking about something different, though. You're talking about watching the game in person or watching the game on TV. And yes, way different if you're there. Obviously, you can't be there in person. So, I get what you're saying. If you're used to watching games and you don't watch them on the TV, it's going to feel way different because even when there are fans, it feels totally different watching it on TV versus watching it live. Obviously the smells of the food and everything. You get
the smell of the grass, the crack of the bat. Everything. You're right. It's different.
It's way different. So I usually watch it on TV. So to me, it's not that much different.
Yeah. Dan looks lost. Well, we're not staying on this conversation.
Well, no, I was actually contemplating whether if, let's say, for example, your cardboard cutout got hit by the ball, do you get compensation or insurance?
Somebody said that earlier. They said at an A's game, if your cardboard cutout gets hit by the ball, they'll send you the ball.
Oh. Like you caught it?
As if you caught it. That's kind of neat. I think
so all I need to do is put on maybe 500 pounds, and then I can get a big cardboard cutout.
Take up like 6 seats.
Take up like 6 seats. But we don't bother with the cardboard thing in the UK. We just, because if we do, we just won't take it seriously and start doing like, explicit signs and gestures towards the other team. So yeah, we probably don't do that. Unfortunately, as much as we would want to, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, we don't do that.
But yes, a lot going on with that. Steve, real quick on football. I got to talk football with you. I want your opinion, yes or no. Dan, you can talk about it too if you want, because it kind of revolves around the whole COVID thing.
We're talking about
American football. Will we have a season? Yeah. No, American football. Steve, will we have a season?
Yes.
Think so?
May not be a full one, but we're going to have a season.
Okay. Too much money to pass up, right?
Yeah. Plus, all the analysts think the Colts are going to do really well, so we need to have one.
It always goes back to Steve. Steve's so selfish with his teams, I'll tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
We will have a season for sure.
You think so? I don't see how, for me, and I said this the other night on somebody's stream, I think it was Carlos's. I don't see how you have a season because let me just make this point. Yeah. Of all the sports, it is the most contact sport 100%. Of them all. And it's supposed to be COVID, you're supposed to stay away from each other. Linemen are this close the entire game.
If they can have basketball season, they can have a football season. Now there may not be any fans in the stands, but if they can do the same thing with football and have the season 100%.
I don't even think they should have had a basketball season. To me, it's so hypocritical. But to me, it's hypocritical of the entire thing. You're telling me how important it is to stay 6 feet away from people and social distance, and yet you're allowing these players to bump up against each other, rub up against each other.
There's a difference, though.
How?
These guys were quarantined long before this ever started for 2 weeks. I heard people talking about Big Brother the same way. Why are they letting people do Big Brother? Because they were individually quarantined, and now they're in a bubble that unless somebody goes in with it, they can't get it. And they did that with the NBA. They could easily do that.
2 players from the NBA got it since they've been to Disney World.
That's because they left and they weren't supposed to.
Okay, so that's my point. You know it's going to happen.
It can be done.
So here's the thing.
Dude, well, first off, basketball only has 12 players. Football has 52 players.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. There's no way. I think it's absolutely irresponsible. I think to me it's a total hypocritical. How can you say that after everything we've gone through and how important it is to stay away, and yet you're going to allow this? I just don't.
I also have different views on what's going on in the world right now.
Me too. I do too. To me, it just makes no sense. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
So as a comparison, rugby, certain parts of rugby has started back up again. Yep. So rugby league, because in the UK, I don't think a lot of people might know this, there's 2 types of rugby. There's rugby union and rugby league. Now, rugby league actually has started back up again and is just, I would say, even more physical.
Absolutely. And they don't have as many pads and protection.
There's no pads, no protection, nothing. But they just carry on. They it's the same with soccer, where they've just changed the rules. You're allowed 5 substitutions and you're allowed sort of a bit more time. So last weekend and this weekend in Formula One, there was a driver who actually tested positive for COVID. And these are 20 drivers in the world, just 20 drivers. Obviously, they've got crew and whatever. So they just swapped out one driver for another. And I think they could do the same. Look, you guys have 52 players
on a roster. They don't all play at the same time. They're just on a roster.
Right, on a roster, though.
But not every single player plays at the same time, right?
11.
Right, 11 players play at the same time. So you have plenty of players to rotate in and out, and that's what rugby does. That's what actual football are doing. It's what even 20 drivers are doing in Formula One. You know what? Look, maybe I'm being not as critical, but I feel like there are ways to go about it.
Okay.
So look, if you could play rugby, you could play American football because you've got pads and helmets and everything. So
okay, and Pete said I sound really worried that the Rams are going to have a bad year. They are going to have a bad year. I am not one that tries to sugarcoat my team. If they're bad, I'll tell you they're bad. It is what it is. That they are what they are. I just think, to me, no, it's true. I am not that kind of person. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. If they're bad, I'll tell you they're bad. If they're good, I'll tell you they're good.
When these comments, some of the Aberdeen Football Club players decided to go to the pub in Aberdeen last weekend and caught COVID. Aberdeen is back in lockdown.
That's my point. Look, there's so many football players. Look, I know everybody's going to get mad at me. We have some dumb football players that will do dumb things. And there is no way these guys are all going to stay in lockdown and not go out for 16 weeks. It's not going to happen. And somebody's going to get it. And then here we go. So you might as well just nip it in the butt. But they don't want to do that because they want to make the billions of dollars in the TV revenue. And I get it. But to me, it's, I thought we were supposed to be all about safe. And then yet, it's if billions of dollars are on the line, we're not about safe. So,
at least golf, you don't have to. It's not a physical sport.
Golf isn't, but football most definitely is.
Baseball shouldn't be either, but they've got teams their whole teams are getting postponed because. Thing.
But baseball, out of all the sports, is the least contacted sport. They don't touch each other the entire game.
Yeah, I agree.
At all, nobody ever touches another.
But they
player.
touch.
Them.
But they touch.
What?
Ball, which everyone else is touching.
That's true.
Whereas
I'll give you.
Whereas golf, you're using your own club, your own ball, and what they've done with the holes is you can just lift. They've turned the cups inside out, and you can lift up the cup with your club, so you don't have to touch the pin. So golf, you are literally just you and your clubs. Whereas, baseball, you're still holding that ball. Or you're throwing that ball to the.
Yeah, no, you're right, Dan. Look, in a baseball game, 4 to 5 players can touch the ball in one play. The pitcher can throw it to the catcher, and then he comes back to the pitcher, and then the pitcher throws it again. He hits a ground ball to the third baseman. The third baseman touches it, throws it to the first baseman, and then they throw it around the board. And then they throw it around the bend. 5 people touch that ball.
I do want to comment on Jonathan Chong's comment. The F1 driver that caught it when it was on a 2-week break of, the racing and not at the track.
Right. So. But that's my point too. These in football. Thank you, Candy Mom Cynthia. That was very nice. $1.99. Catch the football, wipe it down, then toss it.
That's right though. They got to clean. That's the only way to do it if they're going to do it. If you're going to play,
you have enough breaks to do it.
If you're going to play any sports, there's going to be contact of some sort, whether it be through an object or whatever, from one person to another.
Yeah, it's true. But the other thing too is in football only plays once a week. What are these guys doing for the rest of the week?
Go to the pub.
Exactly. That's my point. They're not going to stay isolated.
Well, and then that's the other part too is, there's a lot of contact in football, but they're only playing once a week. Baseball's playing 6
every day. Every day. Yeah, pretty much every day. I agree.
They're putting themselves at more exposure every day or more often. But, they're testing these guys like crazy.
That's fine. Look, I said it with baseball too. And, Steve, I said it. I didn't think we should have had a baseball season. I said they should have scrapped it. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's enough about that. We got into our sports. I want to talk a little Disney because there's a lot of news that we need to talk about. And I want to hear from everybody in the chat. Thank you all in the chat, by the way. And Jeff's scared because he says he's been agreeing with me all night. That is a first, by the way.
Tell him the Dodgers are the best team in the league.
It's like the Twilight Zone. He's agreeing with
the Dodgers are, on paper, the Dodgers are the best team in the league. But the paper doesn't win the World Series.
Run, Jeff, run.
Well, I said that last year. I picked the Dodgers to win the World Series, remember?
No, you picked the Yankees, I thought.
Oh, maybe I did pick the Yankees, but I said they'd play the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think on paper they are, but paper doesn't win anything.
No, I agree.
I put $100 on George DiMaggio.
Actually, Joe did have a brother, but his name was Dom.
Dom DiMaggio. That sounds like a name
Dom DiMaggio.
From The Godfather.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's from The Godfather.
It does, doesn't it, though? Okay, so I want to talk to you guys. Disney Plus. As you all know, Mulan is not going to be released in the theaters.
Yep.
Disney is putting it straight to Disney Plus, and you have to pay an additional $30. Now, you guys can correct me on this. This is a rental for $30. You don't own it. It's a one-time rental for $30.
I don't know. Wasn't thrilled to see the movie anyways. I'm not going to pay any amount of money to go stay unless I go to the theater with my pass. So
totally agree.
Don't care.
Don't care.
So, look, I think Steve and I have very similar thoughts on Mulan. I am not excited for this movie. I did not like the look of the trailer. For me, it wasn't Mulan. There's no Mushu. There's no of the songs. The villain is not Shang Yu, so that kind of defeats the point of the movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's good. Everyone's saying the same thing like The Lion King. Oh, it looks amazing. Yeah, it might look amazing, but the film might be terrible.
And I love Lion King, but
I know you liked it. I wasn't a fan.
Well, let me ask you this, okay? Because you're both not interested, Steve.
Yes.
If this was The Lion King, if that was coming out, and Disney said you got to pay $30, would you do it?
No.
Okay, that's. I understand your point with Mulan.
If they want to put it on, one of those rental things that is normally like $8.99 to watch or something like that, I would probably do that. I wouldn't do it for Mulan. I would do it for The Lion King.
That's what I mean.
I'm not going to pay to rent something off of Disney Plus when I already have a subscription to it. So,
right. That was my.
I think they're going to lose a lot of revenue, but at the same time, tickets are only $11 at the movie theater. Now, if they want to lower the price to $11 to allow people to buy it like they were buying a movie ticket, so be it. Then that's how they get their money back from not having the movies. Me personally, like I said, I pay $18 for a movie pass every month, and I go as many times as I want. And I would have watched Mulan in the theater then, but I won't. I will not watch it till it's free now if it's not going to the theater.
I agree.
Gotcha. Yeah. So why is Disney doing this? Why are they making us pay $30 extra?
Because they need to make the money that they were going to try and make when they brought it out in the theater. They spent, if you look at the budget of this film, so it's not cheap. And the only way for them to actually make some form of money, they're not going to make a profit from it, to make some form of money back from this film, they're going to have to put it at a high cost. And I think that, look, if you are a diehard Mulan fan, go for it. I mean, I wasn't excited for this film. If you have, let's say, if I had like 4 friends come over and we all split it between each other, then maybe. But me personally, I'm not going to spend $30 or whatever it is in the UK just to watch it for myself. Like, it's just, for me, it's not worth it.
Okay.
But, there may be other films that maybe we'll touch upon that maybe, other people might consider for $30. But for me, I think it's too expensive for that.
Gotcha. Now, my question is this. Why are they making us pay for this one, but they didn't do it for Onward?
Or Artemis.
Onward opened in the theaters.
Onward opens in the theaters, but Artemis
for like a week?
I don't know. They still made a lot of money off of Onward in the theaters.
We haven't even got Onward yet.
Okay. But that's my point. But Onward wasn't out for 7 to 8 weeks, which is the normal running time for a movie to make mega bucks. I mean, that movie, if it was in theaters for a week, they were lucky. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Somebody can look it up for me. That would be great in the chat.
I feel like, though, when the pandemic hit, I think Onward was a good sort of marketing tool that Disney used. They were like, hey, we're launching Disney Plus just before the pandemic, and you can watch the brand new Onward. And I think that was quite clever of them. And I don't think they needed to give them an additional cost because they wanted those numbers for Disney Plus. Yep. So I think they would just use it purely for marketing.
Well, look, Disney can only have so much charity before they got to start making money again. And I look, the price point is way too high. That's what you pay for a movie on DVD. You pay $24.99 to own it. not going to pay $30 to rent something. Now, unless that's you own that and you can watch it on your Disney Plus subscription at any time you want to. There's movie subscriptions out like that all the time that you can do. I got no problem with that. I'm still not going to pay for it, but they've got to start making their money back somehow, or we're not going to have the content.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just curious. I would think that ultimately, look, we've said this from the very beginning. Of course, they're a for-profit company. At some point, Disney's got to draw a line in the sand. They're like, we got to make money again. Their well at some point will dry out. I mean, didn't they say they lost $3.5 billion in theme parks?
It's something like that.
I don't care who you are. That's a lot of money. And we said this from the beginning. They're going to have to, at some point, start earning money again. That's why they opened the parks, even though things were still not hunky-dory in the world. They still opened the parks.
I will say this real quick. I felt safer in the parks than I do anywhere around here.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, me too. Agree 100%.
I just want to. I want to ask this question: if, let's say, they were keeping the rental idea, and they kept it to say maybe $10 or maybe $7.50 or something like that to rent it, do you think more people would sign up at a lower price like that more than the amount of people who would pay $30? And do you think Disney would make more profit from that lower cost and more people?
That they would sign up for Disney Plus or just to rent the movie?
Just to rent Mulan.
I think they would make more money in the long run by people paying $7.50 to $10. Realistically, here it's like by top point is $8.99, so anywhere between $7 and $10 or $9. Like that, I think they would. I think that's a 3-to-1 ratio. Basically, I think they would easily get more people.
Because the reason why I say this is because I don't think personally many people paying $30 for a live action film where people are either loving the live action films or you're like maybe us. Well, I know for you for sure aren't the biggest live action fans.
Right. I'm not paying. Well, first off, I'm not paying. Look, Disney could come out with Disney Plus and say all these free movies are free. But guess what? If you'd like to see the original Aladdin, the original Beauty and the Beast, the original Little Mermaid, we're going to bundle them and we're going to make you pay $30. I still wouldn't do it. I'm not paying extra when I'm already paying for a subscription.
This subscription was supposed to be like Netflix. The only thing they can do is take certain things off.
Yes,
but sure. I don't want that either because it's that. They even said they weren't going to do that.
Right.
Disney has hit a home run with Disney Plus, and if they try to ruin it now, it'll be very detrimental to them.
They're doing something. I don't know.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I mean, you don't agree with what?
Well, I don't agree. I agree that Disney shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be messing with the formula, and I don't agree with how Disney is going about this. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying too.
And this, what Carlos, I'm going to lead into my next topic because I think we made our points with that. Carlos makes a point here. He says Disney needs to stop asking for more money and giving less product. That segues me into the news that Disney is now closing the parks earlier. They are closing the parks an hour earlier now, all 4 parks, which, again, Steve and I kind of talked off air before we even started. If people can only go during the week, if you work a 9-to-5 job, you can't even go to the parks during the week because you'll never get there in time. If you get out of work at 5, you're lucky if you get to the park by 6. One of the parks is already closed. You might get an hour in another park, maybe 2 hours in the next park. So what do we think of Disney closing the parks even earlier now? What is there a reason for it?
Yes.
And what do we think of it?
Yep.
Okay.
So I just left Best Buy a little bit ago and came here, and they close at 6. And I asked, why do you close at 6? And they said, well, think about the number of people that come in here. We have to sanitize everything from top to bottom. And I think that falls true with what Disney has to do. And I don't think they're getting – I'm not saying they're not getting it done, but I don't think it's getting done in the time frame where they want. They're staying late to do it and everything. So I think that they're cutting it down so that they can continuously sanitize the park every day.
Okay, but my rebuttal to that is you've been doing it this way for a month and a half. What's the difference? Why all of a sudden an hour earlier? You were doing it fine the last month and a half. What changed?
They're all staying late, and I'm sure they just want to. Could be disgruntled employees having to stay that late to clean the park. I mean, it could be a lot of different things.
Don't they get paid to do that?
They do, but
No, I think they are told that
these people work.
They sanitize the rides every 15 to 30 minutes. Now, obviously, that doesn't sanitize everything. The door handles, the railings, the everything,
bathrooms, the benches.
I feel like the reason why they're closing an hour earlier is the same reason why Universal is closing attractions like Fast and Furious Supercharge, is because they're trying to save a little bit of money, because they are losing that money. They're not at full capacity.
Right.
Also, I since I was just in the parks last week too, I also find that towards the last 2 hours, the attendance goes way down.
Way down. Absolutely.
Way down.
Absolutely. We're in the parks every week.
I don't think it's going to affect a lot of people by them closing it just another hour. Now, it would affect streamers. Outside of that, people get there at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're tired by the end of the day.
Yes.
There's less people, so they can go, okay, it's not worth it to keep it open. Let's cut an hour early.
All right, but let me say this. Let me take. I'm going to touch on your point. I'm not going in as a streamer. I'm going in as a guest first, and I might stream. I might do. Let me finish my point, because this is where I think they're unfair. I work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, hard. I can't go to the parks now, period, Monday through Friday. And guess what else? Because of the annual pass holder and the way they're doing that, I can't even go to the parks on the weekends. So as a loyal annual pass holder, guess who can't go to the parks almost at all now because of all this? And here's my point. They stayed open. To me, working late, that's ridiculous in my opinion, because they had the parks open till 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 with Moonlight Magic and extra hours. So those people are used to working late, long hours. So I don't agree with that at all. You've worked longer hours. To me, it's status quo. So
would you rather have the parks open an hour later and stay open a little later? Because then you're still having the same amount of hours, but they're just opening a little later, making sure everything is sanitized and cleaned and ready to go. That way they still have the amount of hours that they want, but just keeping
the problem is it has to be sanitized as soon as it's done. As I asked the guy too, I said, you don't open till 10. Why can't you just do it in the morning? He said, because with all the chemicals and everything, it has to be done when people leave so that it has time to treat overnight. You can't do it in the morning.
But still, they can still. I don't understand why they still can't do that when the parks close.
No, it may not be. Well, here again, the sanitation could be one thing.
Yeah.
The biggest part about it is unlike, I agree with Walt, because I'm the same way with Walt, you want to be there, but we're just 2 people. Their attendance, even if it's at 20,000, is down to 7,000 by the time that last hour rolls around. Their attendance is not there. There is no reason for them to keep the park open except to appease a few people compared to the big masses that are actually going during the day. They're getting more people at opening hour, which to them would mean, hey, let's open it an hour early if we're going to change that at all, not later. They're getting more people at opening hour, and by the time the end of the day rolls around, there's nobody there. I literally can walk on to just about anything.
Yeah, I agree.
At all in the last 2 to 3 hours.
No, I understand. It's a frustrating thing because what they're looking at, it doesn't matter. But ultimately, it's just frustrating as someone who lives down here now, and you can't get to the park. You can't get to the park. They are strictly looking at people that are buying tickets at this point and buying resort reservations. That's right now what their priority is. And Jeff asked a question, and we'll go around one by one. He says, question for the group. Disney cast members are getting paid as they are losing money in the parks. A ton of money. 100,000 Mulan buys 30 million. That can pay cast members to work. Thoughts? I
agree. That's what it's a business decision for them.
Oh, sure.
And one that I'm not going to contribute to.
Right. Yeah. It's a business decision. Look, all of these decisions ultimately come down to Disney wanting to make the bottom line better for who? Their shareholders. That's who Disney answers to. Bob Iger answers to one group of people, the shareholders. They're the ones that decide whether or not he keeps his job.
I do want to add with Jeff's question that speaking as a former cast member, cast members' payroll are notorious for being very low, lower than expected. And there's been a lot of obviously controversy of that, and Bob Iger setting up support plans and all that kind of stuff, and cuts and everything. So even with this Mulan $30 thing, and them cutting hours and stuff, cast members are still going to get paid, unfortunately, as worse as they normally do. So I can't comment more than that. Yeah, it's unfortunate because they work so hard, and they work harder than I think most other people in that sort of business. So
I'm going to make Carlos really mad right here. But he said, throw me a bone. Don't charge me the same $5,000 for less hours at the park. The solution to that, and this is what Disney's doing to help solve crowd control, is don't go. I mean, that's the blunt reality of it. If you're, I get some people can only go once a year. I said it before. This is not your time to go. Do not go. It's not worth the money for you. If you have an annual pass, and you have all the other means of living quarters and things like that, it's worth it. But this is not the time for your one day or one trip a year to go. That's why I've said it multiple times. If this is your first trip, do not go. If this is your once a year trip, do not go. If this is your once every 3 to 5 years, do not go. Unless you're going repeatedly, do not go to the parks. It's not going to be worth it for you.
Right. Why do you think I canceled my April trip? I was meant to bring, my partner who's never been to Florida before, let alone Disney, and I was like, this is the time not to go. Like, I want to take her when Disney is at its best and as what it's meant to be. I'm totally agree with you, Steve. Totally agree.
But see, let me touch on this. I agree too. But Jeff says the customer matters, the customers matter, and the customers understand, and they will return when the world is normal. Here's my problem, Jeff. I agree with you. We will return when the world is normal, but Disney takes advantage of that. And I think what Carlos is saying is they know that they can charge whatever they want. They can close down whatever they want. People are still going to go. Yep. Does the customer really matter? Because they're shutting everything. Look, Carlos makes a point. It is a diminished product that they are giving us every day. Now they're doing their best in certain ways, but they aren't. I mean, there are some discounts here and there. The customer does matter, but Disney takes advantage of that customer. They take advantage of that loyalty in some ways. I'm sorry. I think they do. I think they know that ultimately they're going to do this, whoop, 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 and they're going to reel us back in as soon as and they do what they want.
Every business around the world is a business to make money. Disney is not non-profit.
Exactly.
But I think they treat their customers better than anybody else in the world.
For the most part, they do. Yes. I think when things are normal, they do. Absolutely. Yes.
I don't know.
They're awesome.
Here's what I would say is that Walt, in your sort of position right now, being an annual pass holder, Florida local, so if it was me, my personal opinion, Disney, you're the target audience that I feel like we want, because let's be honest, someone like me who's got to travel over from the pond, or Steve, you go down a couple of times a year, maybe every other month or every 2 months or whatever. We're still far away. Whereas, you're there. Disney should be targeting you because they want you to be in the parks and you want to be there. And I feel like that's the direction I feel like they should be in, because
they're not for a reason. Because Walt doesn't bring resort revenue.
Exactly.
Anything else.
Exactly. I get it. That's my point.
They're going to let this many people go in. They're at capacity every day. There's no their capacity, not max capacity. They're at their targeted capacity every single day by the method they have of splitting it between annual pass holders and resort guests. And they're selling those resorts. And people are buying resorts that can't even go to the parks because they're full. They're still buying resorts. They're still using DVC. They're still using all that stuff. So from our perspective, they should target him. They have, as a business decision, zero reason to target him whatsoever, but they do. They still give him something, but they have zero reason to target him because he's not going to go spend the money on salary, that kind of stuff.
No.
Well, I'm not going to spend money, but it depends on the type of money they want spent, because I'm sure going to spend money at the food. I'm sure going to spend money at the merchandise, but the same people that bought, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting ready to say. But those people that are also buying resort reservations are going to do the exact same things. Yeah. They want as much money as they can get right now, and to do that, they're gonna prioritize the people that are spending the most money. And where is that? Those that are buying the single day tickets and those that are buying the resort reservations. It's just sad that those that aren't, the annual pass holders, are being pushed back. It's just not a priority for them. That's all. And what Deborah says is true. This is a 100-year pandemic we're all dealing with in this crazy world. And I don't fault Disney for trying anything and everything to keep the business going. No. Of course. Look, Deborah, I've been saying this since day one. I said Disney's going to open. They're not going to stay closed for a long period of time because they got to make money. They're a business. I agree 100%. Still doesn't mean I'm not pissed at some of the decisions that they make. Somebody said it earlier. We're not going to make everybody happy. Yep. I'm not happy because as an annual pass holder, the privilege was always given that you could go to any park, except your blockouts, anytime. You could park hop and go wherever you wanted to go. That's been totally taken away. Now they've given a month of a discount.
The alternative is none of us get to go.
Yeah.
That's the alternative. They shut everything down.
Then shut everything down because then it's fair.
You get laid off or whatever it is.
Well, that's true too. I don't want people laid off.
You're either talking about nothing or deal with it.
Yeah. Well, I'll deal with it, but I'm also going to deal with it begrudgingly, and I am one that wears I'm going to tell you how I feel. Now, they're not going to listen to me.
Me too.
They don't care. They're not going to listen to me, but I'm certainly not going to keep my mouth shut. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it.
I just think that they're doing an incredible job mixing the difference between customer relations and business, because it is a business.
I think
they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. And the other thing too is they're what they're doing in the parks. I commend them on. They've done a really nice job in the parks. Steve is right.
I also, I'm kind of in the construction industry too, and I noticed all the effort and work that they put into all the queue lines, all the cashier registers, all that stuff. That is not cheap, not at all. I was just looking at all the architectural stuff that they had there, and having people that had to draw it up and engineer it and all this other stuff. All that process, I'm sure, cost millions to do what they've done down there to protect us that want to go and can go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
but they'll make it back tenfold. So,
but you got your sanitizers. And taking the time to wipe they are still not just flowing with cash. It's just not happening. Yeah. So
no.
I think we're fortunate and lucky to be able to go.
Look, if I didn't have to work Monday through Friday, I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah,
but I do, so I don't really get to go to the parks because I just don't. And Deborah, and it's just that I happen to be one of the ones that it's a disadvantage for us, unfortunately. For some people, it's not a disadvantage. They get to go to the parks. That's great. Most streamers that's what they do for a living. They're fine with it because they can go to the parks whenever they want because they can get in. But it's just a hard thing. That's all. It's just a hard time, and we all have to deal with it. And we all grumble.
I think, I think Disney does a very, very good job with what they're doing right now. Obviously, it's very, very difficult,
Hi, Michael.
with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
But they have been doing a good job, and I do commend them with that. And look, they're not going to make any money, but it's not like they're not going to make any money in the future. They are going to make their money back. They are financially safe.
They're not going to go under.
Then no way are they going to get under.
But they also don't have to give out charity cases nonstop either. So
no.
But there is
not
at all. I do want to mention though too, and there is a solution, but it hinders what Walt's trying to do. Is you can book reservations for APs. You just got to do them in advance. So there's none that you can't go. You can go to Epcot on the weekends right now, but there's no other park for August. When it gets into September, you can go ahead and book, but he may not know where he wants to be in 4 or 5 weeks. So,
but let's full disclosure. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily always true because the weekends in September are pretty much booked on almost every single one of the parks.
They're full except for Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios.
Right. Hollywood Studios is the only one that's full. You can book all 3 of the other ones.
And some of them, and that's during the week. There are some that are on the weekends too that you can't.
I got to pull it up here still.
Pull it up.
So, oh shoot.
But they are doing, Deborah, the thing about Disney is they're doing a really, when you go to the park, I agree with what Steve said earlier. I don't feel any safer than when I am at the Disney parks. They're doing a really good job at the parks. Good job.
I'll say this. Disney have always been the bench standard for not just, guest interaction, but theme parks as well. You look here in the UK, I think I touched this on someone else's stream. You look at somewhere like Thorpe Park or Alton Towers, which are the two biggest UK theme parks. The rules there is you can have your masks off when you are just walking around the park, and if it starts to get busy, then you can put it on. You can, not must. You can put it on. But I've seen streamers and vloggers. They get in line to go on the rides. They just take their masks off.
Yeah, well,
at Disney.
No. This is at Thorpe.
I say Disney will not let you do that.
No, that's
Disney won't let you do that if they see it.
But that's why Disney have always been at that standard where they do the best they can. Whereas here in the UK, it's so way more relaxed, and I don't feel. If I was able to go to Magic Kingdom tomorrow, I would totally go. If I was told that I could go to Thorpe Park or Alton Towers tomorrow, I would say no. Simple as, because there's no reinforcement. There's no, hey, you need to be wearing your mask, or hey, put your mask on in line. Like that's that's not what we get here.
Well, and just to be on the calendar, starting the second week of September, the first weekend's booked. The second weekend, all but Hollywood Studios are available, and all during the week, all are available. So
yeah, if you can go during the week, you're fine. Yeah,
but starting the second weekend, you can pick them all except for Hollywood Studios.
Right, but even that, I mean, that's
4 weeks out.
Right, we're a month away from that, and already the entire month of August is shot.
Yeah,
and this is only August 8th.
Yep,
and no system is ever perfect, and we've talked about that before too. Both Steve and I. No system's perfect. You're not going to please everybody. It is what it is. We'll get over it, and we're still going to go back to Disney. If I can get a park pass, we jump on it as soon as we can, and we'll be in the parks.
Yep.
So it is what it is for sure. Steve, is Shep going live tonight at 9:30?
Yes.
He is. Okay. All right. So we'll kind of, if we're going to keep going, Steve, if you have to jump off, by all means. Dan, you too, just a little bit longer. We're going to try to get out of here before Shep. Everybody, be sure to check out Shep at 9:30. He's going to go live. I'm sure they're going to have a fun time for sure. Two more things I want to touch on real fast. First and foremost, People Mover is down. Did you guys hear that People Mover is down through October 31st?
Yep.
I know, Steve.
Was it down for mechanical or was it down for
mechanical?
Mechanical.
What they're doing is there's magnets that help them. They're replacing all the magnets underneath the ride to help it.
So it's maintenance.
Yeah, it's just a straight refurb, but it's going to be down now.
We're going to do it. This is the time to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree.
But what's funny is I think at first we expected it to be, hey Ray J, welcome in, good to see you, and thank you everybody in the chat. I think we thought that ultimately we were looking at 3 to 5 weeks. Now we're looking at like 13 weeks without the People Mover.
You know what though? If they're going to do it right, I've got no problem with that.
I agree.
I have no problem.
Yeah, me too. It's another one of those gut punches because we really love the People Mover. You know how we feel about it. But you're right. Ultimately, if it comes back and it's refurbed and it looks great and it's riding great, it's worth it in the long run. I agree 100%. It's just it's tough right now for sure.
As long as they don't come back saying thank the Phoenicians, then I'm all good.
I heard they put that off, by the way.
Yes.
They're not refurbing that right now.
Yeah.
It's indefinitely postponed.
Yeah, which I'm gutted about.
They're not going to get rid of the Phoenicians.
No, I love it. I hope they don't. I always thank them.
Because I know that every time I ride, it's like, all right, here's Dan's bullying part.
But here's the thing, though. I can't ride that ride now without saying a comment about Dan out loud. I can't do it.
Dan, but that's what makes it so great is now every time we ride it and we hear that, we think of you.
Oh, you're welcome. Might as well put my face on the ride. My face of dismay.
No, what you need to do is that guy that's pounding that thing, put your face on it.
The papyrus. Yes, the papyrus. Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
What's worse is when you sit like with a person behind you or in front of you, and you go by where they like when they go, oh, and the Library of Alexandria is burning. I'm like, hey, Rome is burning. I'm like, no, it's not Rome. It's Alexandria, and that's in Egypt. Rome is in Italy. Just stop.
Oh, the woes of a history guy.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Captain Akron, it is funny. Hey, Tina.
It's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m.
Carlos said, Suzanne yells out, see, Dan, you're wrong.
I would comment, but it's 2 a.m. and I don't want to wake every single member.
We won't. Oh my gosh, you're so funny. All right, last thing, we got to talk crowd levels. So I have seen, we were there for pass holder previews. We were there the first Saturday that Disney opened back up. Those first couple times, there was nobody in the parks at all. The crowd levels have exponentially gone up. But it's not because Disney has increased the capacity. It's just they never got close to hitting capacity. Do you guys agree?
I don't see. I was there last week. The crowd. I could walk on anything I wanted to walk on.
Yes, but well, for me, I've seen both levels of it. Steve, I know for you didn't see the beginning levels.
It's true. I'm only going for what's normal to now.
Right, but from what we saw in the very beginning, it's exponentially been increased crowd wise. But for me, I just think it's because Disney was allowing 30% in, and I think in the very beginning, 15% were coming.
It was a trial run.
Yeah, I think so.
They were letting 30% in, but they may not have. The reservation system may have only been 15.
Well, right, and that's what I'm saying. Just people weren't coming out, but now they're coming out.
Their reservations filled up. So whether they're allowing more people or more or less, reservations, their reservations were gone every day. So,
but 30% is still nothing.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I was just there. You could literally walk on anything you want, and this is going to come out wrong, so don't take this the wrong way, people.
Well, you said it now, so
take the pandemic completely out of things. This is the greatest time to be at Disney right now. You will never experience Disney like this again.
Right, if you can get in.
The only time I can compare was the day before Dorian struck last year.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's one day. I'm talking about.
No, this is all the time. This is every day.
So there's a negative to it, but there's also a positive to it.
It's the only comparison you can make.
Let me say this though, Jeff. He says I saw Epcot crowd levels are down the last 2 weeks. Epcot's been empty.
I don't get it. I don't know if it's because of all the construction.
Epcot's been empty. Nobody's going to Epcot.
And
Steve even proved it. I mean, all the reservations that you can get, what park can you get?
Even during the week right now, the only reservation you can get in August is for
Epcot.
Was it during the week too?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because everything else was grayed out. So the only thing that's available right now is during the week, and the only park for the rest of this entire month is Epcot.
Nobody's going to Epcot. Nobody.
I loved it. I went there 2 or 3 days on my last trip. Food and wine was still there. It's still there. I don't get why people aren't going there. It's fantastic.
It's because the main attraction has gone, and that's Club Cool, and everybody trying to beat your record, and that's the reason why it's slow.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's because many of the restaurants are closed.
I will say that a lot of
many of the restaurants,
okay, not just the restaurants, a lot of the shops are also closed.
Right, and that's part of the issue. I think food and wine is great, but right now everything in France is closed. Everything in Japan is closed. Talk about restaurants. I think mostly everything in China is closed. Akershus is closed over in Norway. There's a ton.
Well, you also have to take into consideration, though, that this is the only park that has that, too. I mean, there's little shops everywhere else, but not like at Epcot. Part of the attraction is that. And if you close them, they're replacing them with food booths. And I get what they're trying to do. So that's why they thought, hey, we may not have to open these because we're replacing them with food booths. Mm-hmm. But there's still a lot of offerings available. And
not sit-down offerings.
Let's just be honest. Nobody's going to go to these parks going, I'm coming here for the shopping and dining. That's not the main attraction of why they're coming there. They're still coming for the rides with the add-on of that. But the thing that does kill is if those shops are closed, they're not getting into those buildings to experience the culture. That's the only reason.
I would just like to say something small that I think has a massive effect personally, and I think mentally, is that you go to the World Showcase there, you look at this wonderful 11 countries, not one of them, apart from the American Pavilion, has a member from that country.
No, I agree. But let me
has a big effect.
Yes, but let me say this. No, I agree, Dan. I agree. But Steve, let me ask you this. See, you say they're coming for the rides and the attractions. I kind of disagree, and here's why. There's not one ride at Epcot that's oh my God, I gotta do. Not even Soarin' at this point. I'm sorry, nobody.
I rush to do them all.
Okay, but
I'm there.
That being said,
the rides and the festivals and the architecture. The interaction with the cast members is on the bottom of my list.
But I can't see anybody. I mean, Hollywood Studios, I get it. Animal Kingdom, certain rides, I get it. You got Pandora, you got Everest, I get it. Soarin', I mean, what are you rushing? What are you rushing Epcot for? Test Track?
Frozen, Test Track, and Soarin' they got 3 marquee attractions compared to the other ones. Don't have 3. They usually got 2, but they do have 3 there. But I mean, they still have. I enjoy these rides, and I guess
I do too. No.
I enjoy Figment. I enjoy the Land. The Land is fantastic.
Right, but that's not a ride that somebody says, "Oh my God, I got to go to Epcot to ride."
No, I'm saying you got 3 marquee attractions. I go by marquee attractions. All the other parks have 2. This one has 3.
Well, that's not true. Hollywood Studios got 5.
Well, they do now, but that just happened. But I'm talking about Fast Pass A tickets. Like you get to choose from one group. Hollywood Studios now, yes, that is where your thrill rides are going to be because they're all open.
But Magic Kingdom is Magic Kingdom. Everybody wants to go to Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom is the worst park for me.
Okay, but Magic Kingdom is still, when everybody thinks of Walt Disney World, the first park most people say, especially those that are new, where do you want to go? I want to go to Magic Kingdom.
It's last on my list.
Right, but you're not a first timer. You're not a.
I know. I'm just saying.
And it's first on my list. I mean, that's the one I always want to go to. But I get it. I mean, I'm just saying. I think Epcot's great. Don't get me wrong. But I think part of it for me is, like you said, a lot of it's got construction right now, and there's more pull in other parks. I mean, I don't know.
Like if I go down there right now and I see that all of next week Epcot's open, I'll go to Epcot 5 days. That won't hurt my feelings one bit. And
it's great. I mean, and you're right, and it's the best time to be there because you got the
and I'm going to enjoy the festival. I'm going to enjoy all the entertainment. I'm going to enjoy everything about it. And again, I walk around and take pictures of the architecture too, just because I mean that's kind of where I do. So,
but part of the problem is there is no entertainment. What entertainment? They don't have any of the entertainment.
There's entertainment. You can go into there's a baby grand piano that plays inside the food booth.
She doesn't play all the time.
The one in Sector White, he was there the 3 times I went.
Yeah, she was there the one time we went into, but they're not. She's not. Oh, it was an older woman when we were there. And they're both fantastic, by the way. They're really good. But I mean, Mariachi Cobre plays like twice.
They play. So they also they do a lot of the entertainment that they would do at the country as they do on the American Pavilion concert stage now.
They don't do any of them.
Yeah, they do.
They don't do any of the Japan acrobats. They don't do any of the acts in France.
No.
They don't do any of the acts in Italy.
You're talking about all those little things like that. No, they don't do that. They do.
All that's entertainment.
Oh, you're right, but there's still entertainment available.
But it's a much smaller.
Okay, but there's still entertainment available.
Yes, 2 things.
No, there's okay. We must consider it. I'm fantastic with Epcot. Nothing wrong with it.
I love Epcot. I'm just giving you crap, man. Dan?
Hi.
No, that was
Steve and I are back, and we're going to tackle several topics tonight, and some of them are going to get heated.
We did. We said it.
Nemo and Friends. Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Yes, I love Seas with Nemo and Friends.
I love it too.
That is my biggest guilty pleasure ride of the whole of Disney. I could easily go on that ride, get off, go ride it again.
Right back on one.
Yep. Go around again. I would even wait for the seagulls outside to go mine, and then go back in again. You
know what some of the best part of it is too, though? If you come around and go, can I ride it again? They'll say, sure, keep going. And you just ride it again.
When I get on, I always ask, is this the one with Ariel on it? Because it's the same. They're the same ride vehicles, just the things are on the other side.
Yeah.
The
only thing right now that I miss of all 4 parks, the only thing I miss is the nighttime shows.
Yeah, I do too.
That's the only thing I miss.
I miss the meet and greets. I like the meet and greets. I love the cavalcades.
The cavalcades are fantastic.
Yeah, but they're not meet and greets.
They're not meet and greets.
I like meet and greets.
I don't mind the meet and greets. I like them too, but I'm okay with the consolation. That being the consolation to be able to go to Disney World.
I want my Chewie hug.
I don't want I like the interaction with the characters. I like getting my picture taken with them. I really enjoy that stuff. The cavalcades are fantastic. They're really awesome. By the way.
Dean's here.
Who's here? Dean. Hey, Dean. What's up, buddy? Where is he? Oh, he is. There he is. Dreamer Empire. There he is.
I want my Chewie hug.
I mean, I can throw on some fur and hug you if you want.
Let's do it. I know you are. You're Chewie size. You know.
He is. He's a big guy for sure.
I'm up there.
Yep. Well, there you go, guys. That is our heated, hot and heavy, but still loving show.
Sounds like Chewie.
Yeah, heated, hot and heavy. But first and foremost, I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here. You guys are always amazing. You're always fantastic. Always giving us good information back, good perspectives and points of views. What we love about this show on Saturday is a lot of times we will disagree, but we learn from it. We respect other people's opinions, and we have a good time with it. We always come away a little bit wiser from these shows. I feel. I mean, I know I do. I love these.
Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Walt and I a lot of times differ, but we respect each other's opinion. So we're never fighting. Don't ever.
I just come out with stupid remarks.
And Dan's just down here. He's just kidding.
No, you don't.
I will defend that the Tinkerbell movies are some of the best movies in Disney's library.
What was it?
The Tinkerbell movies.
Oh, the fairy movies? The Pirate Fairy and my niece.
Hey, put it this way. I'd rather watch those movies as a big continuous thing than spend $30 on Mulan.
There you go. See, nothing wrong with that.
Let's go
around. Yeah, exactly. Let's go around the horn. Steve, what do you got coming up, buddy?
I put out my first vlog in 6 months this week.
I know. It was great. I loved it.
I learned how to edit. No, I wanted there was a gap there where I got really busy and switching jobs and everything, and I wanted to focus on the other channels and things like that, and I just didn't have the time to do it. Corey helped me learn how to do a lot of the things with the editing, and I did it all. He was there in case I ran into a block, but got my intro done, got all that stuff done, really worked on the knowing how to do all that stuff the proper way, and I got a video out.
Very nice. Congratulations. Everybody go check it out. Go check out Steve's brand new video. Look at that, Steve. Did you see what James said? He says, as a matter of fact, if Walt and Steve were the Congress, wouldn't we all be inspired by the way they've respectfully discussed issues?
We're not going for Congress. We're going for president and vice president. That's what we're doing. So.
I'll be more than happy to be vice president, Steve.
I live in a different country.
I was going to be your vice president, so.
I live in a different country. I'm saying no. James.
Yeah, Dan, you could be our Secretary of State. How's that?
That's a good position, Dan, here.
That's the last thing you would want me.
Dan here, that's the number 3.
That's number 3. It is.
Can I just be the chef?
Okay. You can be the chef.
Thank you. You won't get any food. I'll be eating it all.
But so, Steve, anything else? You got the new video coming out Monday night, right? Mondays with Just Another Monday Night, and Wednesdays with this and that.
Live with Monday and Saturdays with Dan, with Walt here, cool. And yes, Wednesdays with this and that.
Awesome. Dan, what do you got coming up, buddy?
Don't normally talk about my channel. Sorry.
Oh no, of course. Dan.
Yeah, Disney Fiasco. We did our episode today. It was a lot of fun. It was literally an hour before the stream. It was Disney attractions that we'd like to get stuck on, which sounds kind of weird, but it was a really fun show. We had the Philly crew and Jeff from Dole Whip Dad joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And then tomorrow, Walt and I will be back for the review, for Disney movie review. We're going to be reviewing 1984's Splash with Tom Hanks.
Yes. I watched it yesterday.
Oh,
again.
It was we've got a lot to talk about, so we're going to be doing that tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. I do want to, obviously this will be, I don't know, Walt, if you caught this at the end of my stream just now. You're probably not, because you're getting ready for Sports Night today. Next week, I will be away. Disney Fiasco and Disney Movie Review will be postponed 1 week, but I will have vlogs, long vlogs, like at least 40-minute vlogs on Saturday. And on that Saturday, Disney, where I normally have my Disney Fiasco, I'm going to be ranking every single Disney restaurant I've ever eaten in a tier list. There was about 39 of them.
That's all. That's shockingly low.
You're telling me that's a lot of food. So 7 p.m. next Saturday, it will be a premiere. It won't be Disney Fiasco. It will be ranking every single Disney restaurant I've ever eaten in a review.
Corey's here. What's up, Corey?
And then Disney movie review tomorrow, 6 p.m. I've got more vlogs and stuff coming. So
it's going to be awesome for sure. Well, for us, we've been doing a lot of vlogs lately, lots of new stuff that we've been posting. A lot of our Sights and Sounds videos are out there, kind of a different take on Disney. I hope you guys like those. Posted a new video at Hollywood Studios. Of course, we streamed a little bit earlier today. Had a great time with that stream. We will be streaming tomorrow from Epcot at 1 p.m. Be sure to check us out tomorrow at Epcot. We're going to be doing food and wine. We might have some special guests. There are some people in town that maybe we'll get some people on stream with us. It's going to be awesome. Tuesday is Disanity. Just got a lot going on for sure. But guys, I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here. Thank you to everybody for all of it. And by the way, a little bit earlier today, our stream ended abruptly because my phone died. But I did come back on like 5 seconds later. I know it's an amateur mistake. What can I say? But
it was a great stream. It was
dude, we were crushing it. We were having a great time. But I did come right back on. I plugged my phone in, and 2 seconds later, I came back in and apologized and ended the stream. But it was awesome, and I just wanted to say that for those that were there, my phone died. I'm sorry.
well, your rhyming ended with good timing.
Sure.
We were over in the Dr. Seuss area, so everything I was saying, I was trying to make it rhyme. Kind of all the time. But anyway, there you go. Anyway, I was a poet and I didn't know it. But anyway, thank you all in the chat for being here. You're all wonderful. Thank you all for all your time. You guys are great. You always have a choice of where you spend your Saturday night. You spent it with us, and we appreciate that. And Steve, we'll start with you, buddy. How do you end your streams?
Bye.
There you go. Dan, what about you, buddy?
Tell them I love them and I say goodbye.
Yes, you do.
Dan? Eat more Dole Whip.
And how else?
That one. Live your life with a smile each and every day.
Yep, absolutely. And guys, thank you again for being here. We appreciate it. Again, hope you can check us out tomorrow at 1 o'clock for our live stream. But until then, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll talk to you all really, really soon. Go check out Shep, 9:30 on the Shep. Somebody post that in the
Shep. The Shep.
I do it every time. Somebody post it in the chat. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Jeff. Me and you, man. I'm coming for you.